rather cloudy in western areas of both islands, and fine on eastern areas of both islands. A few showers down the west coast of the South Island, and just isolated light shower or two on the western coast of the North Island. Around here today, rather cloudy.
I've just got to, yeah, I'll be with you in a second. I've got to see what the others said about the great catch.
Suggested to him that he was the most admired from Australia.
This is it.
It's an extended that, and also the most.
Okay.
It's even better, it tastes really nice now.
It does. It tastes a lot better than Mitch makes it.
Always tastes better.
Much better. In fact, I think we should make Mitch a permanent tea lady in this room.
He makes such good taste.
I need to buy my dresses.
How about what? Fraulein Mitchell. Young Billy.
The summer.
How's it looking out there?
Looks good.
Oh, it's a beauty.
Flying.
Stop. 11 Late
Right then.
Late again.
You are, Graham, not I.
They're all right.
A haircut like that, I don't wonder.
Just put an extra 2 minutes on the right plate.
Okay, thanks.
Zooming there.
Yeah. Your clock's fixed now, though.
Is it?
Yeah. Just remember you stand back outside of the center. Not that's going to affect you anyway.
Yep. Which was weird. Teleco? Yeah. I use it.
You do, I
So
thought
fine,
so.
gentlemen.
Thanks, Carl.
Thank you.
One of the better days.
Standing.
Lights on, yeah? Visual 1 to 4, W1's visual and well clear. You're looking for an all-round individual. The best pilot would not necessarily get in the team. He must be someone who can get on as a team member and be part of a family, if you like. If everyone doesn't totally trust everybody else, then it just wouldn't happen. Everybody is also aware of, I think, everybody's weaknesses, whatever they may be, and has to live with that, obviously, and helps each other through when necessary.
I would say my day pretty well works around the squadron. I think with most of them, as well as John and I, it has become an eat, sleep, drink routine, which makes, I think, the boys very close. Whenever there's a crisis within the squadron or whatever, it's just a natural thing. We all seem to help each other out.
She's been a great support through the whole exercise, and she's also a good layman's view to a good show, I think. A lot of the officers around here, whereas they're very good for giving opinions on it, are obviously an expert witness, so to speak, whereas Julia is a good all-round Joe Public, if you like, and it's worth having that opinion as well. Plus, it's just nice having someone you know watch.
One complete.
Every aerobatic manoeuvre that we do has its place in fighting another aeroplane. You can probably imagine in the old days with the Fokker triplanes and things, one of the first manoeuvres was what they called the Immelman, or a roll off the top, where someone would find himself going the other way but below another aircraft, and by looping and then rolling off the top could position himself behind that aeroplane and therefore shoot it down. So any manoeuvre is a manoeuvre to get yourself behind another aeroplane. And how you do that depends on when you start that manoeuvre, where the other aircraft is, and all those sorts of things. However, there is a stock standard manoeuvre that we train all our pilots to do, that we do all the time. And combining that with formation flying, we can then put that together in an eye-pleasing manner in front of a crowd and hopefully please them. They're very proud of that fact too, and they enjoy performing and doing well. And I think that shows up in a lot of the debriefs that we have. People watching will think that's great, whereas over video we'll pick ourselves to bits and not be as happy with it perhaps as some people are, because they're always striving for perfection.
After each flight we have a debrief or watch the videotape of the practice. We work through it, we discuss any points that have come up, any problems we might have encountered.
Who called red one power? And I said go. I thought someone said red one tower.
I was sitting idle on the inside.
Yeah, it wasn't until I was sort of halfway around the circle. That was a power call.
Actually, I wouldn't want that change any faster than this one.
Yeah, it was fine. Because I always knew where you were coming from, and I had Huggy right there as well, so you could get a heads up on where you were coming from. It wasn't a problem. Because when I'm talking, I very much work on trying to direct the crowd's eyes towards what I want them to look at. So
just like there's a natural build-up through the briefing, so that you key yourself up to give your best. And by following the same debriefing setup, then you sort of come down off that plane a little bit relaxed, so that by the time you go home, then you're sort of back to normal, if I can say that. But you certainly, you've perhaps not thinking quite so much about the flying, you're thinking about other things.
That's when you want to get it. Straight away in that turn, it gets a bit of a shock and
That was
steadies
nice.
down.
I saw you in 2 miles almost as if you were going to... Like, shall I? Yeah.
stick brakes, okay? And tightening up now there, Rick. Okay, and Delta go until we're at 14 miles, commencing our run around. And going round now.
Nicely on the spot, thank you.
It's a bit windy up there today, sir.
Yeah, a little bit breezy, a bit bumpy. Keep the boys on their toes.
Yep.
Great, thank you very much. The salt removal needs replenishing, and other than that, she's good shape. Thanks.
Without them, the team wouldn't exist. The aeroplane's been around for a while. It's a very technical aeroplane. It doesn't take much to go wrong before you can't fly it. We've had 6 aeroplanes on the squadron, and there are 6 of us in the team, so we need all our aeroplanes every day. And 100% serviceability in any air force, in any squadron, is extremely hard to get. They work late at night to make sure they're up the next morning. They're very much part of it. And those scores you see, I've sometimes spoken to them about them, and they can explain exactly why they did give us a 5 out of 10 because of this, and this, and I think that's really great. They certainly take a pride in what they see, and we take a pride in getting it right for them as well.
Okay, 0.9. Boss? Oh, you can hear it too?
I can hear fine. Reception's fine here.
The transmissions.
Oh, it's just like talking under a blanket or something. Background.
The rain and system, I wrote it up the other day as being unserviceable, and today I believe they replenished the system or checked it, and it's okay.
But operating it today, only one clearance is all I got out of it. So we okay for one clearance, but I think it might be blocked or something like that.
It's already been checked once.
Yeah.
Okay, right up again and we'll have another look at the system.
Okay, mate.
Sounds a bit the sidehouse, but weird.
Hi, Julia.
Hello.
Oh, not biscuits. Cracker. Cookie.
It's done GCA finals should have his instrument rating taken off.
Yeah, I'm going to cover Wellington on Saturday. It should be fine.
That T-bird just has a mind of its own.
See, the other ones just don't
Okay, the boss wants to fly there, but T-bird's saying, nah, I'll do what I like.
When it's particularly bad, it's going, when you come to the Lancaster flyby and you reverse a turn, so reversing a turn, you can see the jet start going and then it just stops.
Yeah.
It comes back.
Well, just as well allows me to get out of the way.
That isn't breaking too much, that's something.
I'll have
to go and get a copy of it.
Oh, no, he's got and the other one was...
Yeah, well, I can
No, get back from Patch's side.
I was going to bring it to that quick though.
If you stay tomorrow, you just might get the big one.
Having been shipped across the Pacific from California to New Zealand, 14 McDonnell Douglas A4Ks, otherwise known as Skyhawks, are being unloaded at the Auckland wharves. Sealed in plastic for protection while at sea, these kites in white armour will be towed to Whanuapai. There they'll be made fully operational and replace the de Havilland Vampires as the fighter bomber. Very soon our boys in blue will be taking their sturdy Skyhawks to the skies, and we'll be seeing these aircraft for a good few years to come.
I like it very much. It's a very purposeful aeroplane and it's built to do a job and it does it well and it's nice to fly. One special advantage is that it's small but it still carries a large weapons load and does travel very fast close to the ground, and so it makes a small target and it's got a high survivability rate. This is a major advantage, and of course it can deliver weapons very accurately. To hit targets you've got to get close to them. This airplane is designed for this, and this is a major advantage really.
I've had 2 years in Vietnam, and our experience in the Navy was off the aircraft carriers. Very tough airplane. We brought a number of them back damaged, and they hold together very well. We had great success with them as far as being survivability in combat situation.
Are you looking forward to becoming an operational squadron in these planes?
We really are. We did 50 hours per pilot over in the States, and we really enjoyed flying it, and we're really looking forward to getting into it in New Zealand here, and our ground crews enjoy servicing them, and they've done a great job.
Excuse me. Okay, down the tube.
In peak formation, we'll level out at 8,000 feet.
GT has said safe flying.
Excellent.
Thanks, boss.
Let's give New Zealand our best.
Wellington 2ZB and hi there. Brian Jennings at the summit of Mount Victoria. The Kiwi Reds are back on this perfect day to do their last public display of spectacular aerobatics before they disband next weekend. With me is Kiwi Reds commentator Rod Nichols.
Thank you, Brian, and yes, Wellington has turned on a fantastic day here for us. Kiwi Reds' final display in the Round New Zealand Tour. And as they pull up in front of the crowd in the cardinal formation for their first loop, you'll see them over the top of the loop moving into delta formation, and they're roughly 5,000 to 6,000 feet above the ground. So come back down in delta, they'll be accelerating up to around about 800 kilometres per hour, and through the bottom of the loop, easing into a left-hand turn.
Roger, 270 then, DK. Motor button complete.
They're moving into the swan formation, as you see now. A very nice looking and very gentle formation. Back into delta, pulling up and easing into a right-hand wing over. You'll see the two outside men, Reds 5 and 6, Flight Lieutenant Bruce Keatley and Flight Lieutenant Peter King. They're moving up into the line abreast formation, which we call Lancaster. The four smoking men on the outside simulating the four engines of the Lancaster bomber. Back over the top of us again, and they'll be pulling up into a Lancaster barrel roll. Over the top, you'll notice the wingtips are only about 6 feet between. As they come down the other side, accelerating back up to about 800 kilometres per hour. Back into the delta formation. And easing into a right-hand wing over to position in front of us again. And as they come down towards us, accelerating up to about 900 kilometers per hour, and the boss will be pulling the formation up into the vertical from where he'll go into the vertical bomb burst.
Red, bomb burst, go.
Now, one each from the east and the west. Reds 2 and 3 are coming in for their simultaneous crossover. They have a closing speed of roughly 1,200 kilometers per hour. Now looking out to the north, you'll see the two synchro pair, once again Reds 5 and 6, pulling up over the top of their line abreast loop. Another 6,000 foot loop, accelerating back down the other side and positioning for their roll under brake. Now if you follow the man heading out to the west, you'll see the other four positioning for an echelon left barrel roll.
Easing up into the roll. And the roll coming in now. 600.
A very nice manoeuvre to watch from the ground, but reasonably difficult, especially for the outside men, to fly. As they separate out, you see Bruce KIWI coming in for his inverted pass, going into a hard left-hand turn, accelerating to 1,000 kilometers an hour, and then pulling up for his vertical rolls. He'll roll out at around about 13 to 15,000 feet.
.350 here. Roger 35, sir.
Coming back straight towards the crowd, and we'll be pulling back up into a loop. And there you can see a very nice example of the V-Vic formation. Coming back down the other side, Red 5 will be looking to rejoin the formation, and as he does, if you look very closely, the boss will extend a hose from his aircraft, from which a drogue is suspended, and Red 4, Flying Officer Craig Mitchell, will look to plug into that. The inside pair will lift up into the simultaneous rollbacks. You go Reds 2 and 3, followed by Reds 5 and 6.
Using the power and the bank now.
And bring the formation back in front of the crowd for a swan barrel roll. A very graceful manoeuvre this. Red 4, the man right behind the lead aircraft, is still plugged in. And as they roll out, the boss will retract the drogue, He'll accelerate the formation back up to about 800 kilometres an hour and come back in for their delta loop, their final loop before their last manoeuvre. Pulling up now, probably pulling about 4 to 5 G, slowing down as they go over the top to 400 kilometres an hour, then accelerating back down the other side and positioning for their finale, the fan brake.